world. Um, and it's quite scary. It's not something that is simple that we just embrace and we carry on. Yes, we do on a superficial level because we have to cope. However, when we try to do those things and we choose our life the way it is and life chooses us to do certain things, you find that you lose that inner core because you place so much of emphasis and energy in protecting your family, making those right decisions, trying to figure out life. And it's a continuous trial figuring out life because life is never a constant. Every single moment is changing. As we sit here, we went through so many different phases. And because life isn't constant, we need to figure out a way to create that harmony and balance within us. Especially us women, we tend to be the core, the one that holds. They call it the Jesus nut, they call it the glue, whatever it is. You take us away from an equation, and everything is not the same. I don't know if you've experienced that. You have to be the strength, and to be the strength continuously depletes your mind, depletes your body, and you need to ask yourself, so how can I rejuvenate? Yes, there are many things that we do in the world. We go and do our nails, we go for a massage, we go to Zumba lessons, we do pottery classes, we do a lot. And this morning or evening or whatever it is, I'm presenting to you my life. And it's been a long journey for me. It's been an extremely long journey. And for many years, my life was lived in pockets. As much as I was spiritual, as much as I've done my seva bit, and I loved and I cared for and I nurtured and I raised children and I mentored children and I continue to love, there was always something missing. There was something that didn't fall into place. And a few years ago, I found out that it was severe trauma as a child, which my mind had blocked out. When you go through severity in your life, you block out something that you don't want to feel anymore because it is rather painful. We know that. And once I knew that, my reasoning to it was, so how can I make peace with it? How can I forgive that and let it go and choose also those nice things that have taken place in pockets in between that severe trauma? And then mindfulness stepped on my doorstep, and I tell you, it has changed my entire life. Not just the inside, but because it's changed so much on the inside that the outside becomes more fulfilling. So it says like how mindfulness can bring change to human thinking and actions. I was always feisty. I was curt. I wanted everybody to be the way I was because I like my work to be done. I mean, working in a space now where you're working with a lot of children. I call my teachers, the teachers that work with me, children, because they sit at 25, 27 years old. They're my children. When they're 30, they're my children. When they're 35, they're my children. Right up to the age about 37 is my eldest child. So I see all of those children. They are children. And I thought to myself, it is so hard because I'm going to use a word and I'm going to let it go, slip out of my mouth. I'm going to say irritate, because that's where you get to a place where you think so differently. And because of the trauma that I had suffered, my outside was different. And I found that was extremely challenging, because I got into arguments with people. And now when an argument comes to me, I sit down very calmly and I look at the person's face and I'm absolutely silent. Because when you go to that place, you give them no reason to move further. You bring them to a place where it's okay. It's going to be fine. And that is mindfulness techniques. So quickly before I move on, I'll run my day through you. I get up at 4:45 in the morning. I would do my sound meditation as I'm moving around, because you do not have, in the world that we live in now, it's not ideal that you do that, 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 and that. It's how you do that, that, and that. I would walk around, do that, have my water in the morning, do a bit of yoga and stretching. But the most important, before I get to my shower and get ready for work, is I take a walk outside just to breathe. The deep breathing through your nostrils, inhaling, enjoying it, feeling it going through your lungs and letting it slip out of you. It's possibly, I can say, it's saying to myself, this is what I have in my body this morning, and this is what I want out of my body this morning. Instead, I want to change that energy. I want to have the positive energy. I want to have the courage. I want to have the tenacity, but I also want to have the patience to be able to deal with whatever comes my way. Because with patience, you achieve a lot. So mindfulness is basically patience. Everything about your life changes because you're patient and you're not saying, let's just do this or let's just do this. But however, stop, let's breathe about it. And within that second, life changes for you. Your thought process changes, your decision making changes. And I know most of you that are here, you have jobs. I mean, both husband and wife have to work. Everybody needs to work in the societies that we live in. We're not going to be treated differently. You know, in those days, you could stay home, you can take care of a baby, you can do all sorts of things. Nowadays, you can't, because it's so expensive to live. It's so expensive. Education itself is so expensive. So I know where all of you are. You are in a place where you are mother, and you are the strength, and you are the core. But to make life better in all of that busyness, what can we do? So this morning I gave you a few tips. I'll just go through. Raji, if you can turn the slide for me. So this is it's a bit small there, but I'll read it from here. It's one of the core quotes that I keep with me, and I find this resonates with me as a person, and it's the phoenix. And I think you all know, in times of doubt and confusion, it symbolizes strength, transformation, and renewal. For only from the ashes of who we were can we rise up to become who we're to be. So every single day, my aim, I have just one aim, to become better and better and better. Not on the outside where, oh yeah, look at me. There was a time, trust me ladies, I'm going to smile at you. There was a time I would say, look at me, I'm here. Now I don't have to say, look at me, I'm here. The energy is felt from within. I don't need that anymore. So I think we do certain things in our life according to where we are and the circumstances. And the more you learn and the more you know, the better you become. So for me, I want to just share with you, and this is basically what I do as a person. I'm not taking it out of a book. I'm not acknowledging it because I heard somebody else do it. It's tried and it's tested and it works. And it really works. For a person like me to say that, if you knew the story that I would present to you one day possibly, it's a story of shattered dreams, shattered life, and my husband often tells me this. He's never seen anybody with so little that can do so much. That wasn't enough for me. That little that became so much wasn't enough for me, that I had to go and seek out mindfulness to become not just enough, but better. So I'm going to leave you with a few things today. So it says 12 ways in which mindfulness practice can help you daily. So Raji has it on the screen here. If and when you practice this, there's so many different bits of energy that come to you and that align with you. For example, you have improved attention and concentration. I've never had that in my life, even as a child, and I always wondered why I did not have enough of attention for one thing or concentration from another. Stress reduction. Our lives are so busy. Even if you are a stay-at-home mom, You are so busy every second of the day. If you're not doing something, it's miraculous. We don't ever get that, do we? You just work until you fall off to sleep at night. Enhanced emotional regulation, and that's a big one in our world because there's so many triggers. The triggers are so huge. Everywhere you turn, there's a trigger, and you need to be able to emotionally regulate. And we all come with a regulator. However, there's so many triggers in the world now that it's not enough to regulate your emotions. You have to figure out how you're going to regulate, and you can do many things. But for me, mindfulness has worked. Increase self awareness. We read a lot. There is so much of material out there by great people that write this and write that. And I constantly listen to Eckhart Tolle, to Gabor Mate, all of these people. They bring to the table so much for us. I think it's divine intervention, the ability to have that, which we never had before. A reduction and a rumination, it takes away your stress levels are this high, and if you can practice mindfulness every single time you move or you work or you do something, every action, it gets lesser and lesser and lesser. Enhance problem solving. I'm telling you, it's enhanced my problem solving, that I can do it in such a calmer way, better decision making, increased empathy and compassion. I used to empathize and I was very compassionate, but now I am part of the empathy and I give compassion from the heart, but also I know when to do that. Means that sometimes we give so much and we don't know when to stop. So mindfulness also teaches you when and how to stop and take care of yourself. Because remember, your cup tends to get full. It's wonderful to give. But when that cup gets full, what do? So it's mindfulness that will help you regulate so your cup doesn't overflow. Better decision making, we talked about increased empathy and compassion, improves self-control. So I used to be very, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. But now it's become quality over quantity of what I can do and how much I can do, what is necessary and what is unnecessary, what needs to be done now and what can be done later. Greater resilience. And I think women, we're born with a quality of greater resilience. Mindfulness just polishes that up for us. Enhance communication and increase creativity. So for several years, I think from 2017 was my last time that I wrote a book, and I enjoyed writing it. However, from 2017 until this year, which is 2023, I couldn't write. I would write and it would be incomplete. I would write poetry, it would be incomplete. Everything I put on a piece of paper would be incomplete. That is because I had this huge blockage in my life, and I didn't know what it was until I got to that place and I learned what it was. Through all the modern techniques that we have, you will find out what is that blockage. And the biggest thing to bring mindful creativity back to the core was mindfulness. The minute I started with it, I could feel the direction of where I'm going and what needs to be done. The deep breathing, the yoga, so many different ways that we can do this. So I'm going to go through, I've got a few steps for us here, which I'm going to ask Raji if she can even send the presentation to you. Because if she sends it to you, you have it and you can look at it. Mindful breathing is one of it. I work through with the children at school, and the children in my department are ranging from age 6 to 10. The most active age, not the most difficult age, but the most active age. And the kids know me so well now. It's like they'll ask me, they'll say, when are we going to mindfully breathe? Wherever they are, no matter what they're doing, even when they walk into my office and they sit down because they did something horrendous, which I smile about because it's so childish and so loving and so gentle. they'll say to me, "So can we breathe?" And I go through the breathing technique with them. They would show me what I need to do. So that's how much they have learned. So there are times in my life when I feel, especially at night when I'm going to bed or early morning, just before I put my feet down, I would do a body scan. And body scans are pretty simple. You can find a relatively good one on YouTube where you lie on your back on your bed, you woke up, but instead of saying, "Oh, it's another day, and I don't know what this day holds for me," and you grind your teeth and you're worried about the day and what's the outcome, and you're scared of somebody or somebody shouting there or whatever it might be, if it's leaning onto the negative, body scan. Close your eyes, gently breathe in and out 3 times, but it must be deep and you must feel it in your core. And then pretend that you are a scanner. Start at your toes and you work your way up all the way to every part of your body and release whatever the pain might be within yourself. And in place of that pain, ah, my joint is aching, oh, my toe is aching, remove that, not unkindly, but replace it with something that is soft and beautiful. Because remember, any pain that starts in your body the minute you wake up in the morning, it's basically fear. It's a pain from something that you cannot release, and it's there. So a body scan allows you to release it. So I hope that that can help you, because it is very, very important. And then we've got gratitude journaling. And I don't know if, some of you do have gratitude journaling. I'm really bad at it. I have journals every day, otherwise I'd forget the journal. So I have it in this room, then I have one at school, and then I have one at the table. But I add in my thoughts something, or just add in a word of the day. I found yesterday was a brilliant day. The sun was so brilliant. I found last night was amazing with the full moon. And I wrote not just my thoughts, but how this affects my well-being. I felt great. I felt the freedom, sitting in the sun, acknowledging the breeze that came with it, the birds that were flying. So all of this goes into a little diary, the word, whether it's scribbled. That is gratitude journaling. I'm grateful for all of this. I am grateful. I will continue to be grateful for that which gives me the opportunity to be calm and gentle and feel the well-being within my every fiber of my being. So I hope so far that this resonates with you, or that you feel you can make use of it. Mindful breakfast. Nobody eats breakfast nowadays. I think all of us are rushing some way or the other. But whenever you have that, whenever you have your first meal, if it's your first meal, wonderful. Call it your breakfast. Whether it be at 10 o'clock, whether it be 9 o'clock, I don't know. Whatever you may have, eat it with zest. Eat it lovingly. Eat it with gratitude. I am on a short break from school. So when I take my coffee cup and I want to drink my coffee, I would walk outside. I would have my coffee somewhere. I would sit with the dogs and I would love them and hold them and have my coffee at the same time. If I'm at school, of course, the opportunity to walk is not the greatest, but I do make a plan. I do. I'd walk around, or I look through my window and drink it so I can see a tree and the leaves are blowing. Something like that. But I'm not going to hold my coffee cup and have a conversation with somebody, because then my coffee would change. It would not give me the energy I want. So that's how I've become. Mindful stretching or yoga. Thanks, Raji. That was really good. You must send us a video as well, so we can, like old people like me, we want to sit on the chair and we want to do all our things. So that is really, really good. So thank you for that. And I know all of us here, we stretch at some point, we do something. Number 6 is positive affirmations. So remember, guys, whatever you tell yourself, you become. If you tell yourself, I can't do this, you get to become that. I can't do it. If somebody has spoken to you harshly, you say, I deserve this. I think I was wrong. I was wrong is okay. I can make it right. But I deserve this? So you change the way you see things, positive affirmations. I, in the morning, will say I work with a crowd of people every day, so many people every day. It's unbelievable. It's like my head is full before I come home in the afternoon. But whilst I'm driving home, before I reach home, you know, South Africa with the load shedding and the traffic lights are off and stuff like that. I use that time to positively affirm morning and afternoon. I will say to myself, and I'll speak to myself, and I'll tell myself, I am beautiful. I am kind. I know that I'm kind, and today is going to be a kind day. Kindness is everywhere. However, whatever comes my way, I will positively affirm that it's done in a gentle way, that I've communicated in a way where I didn't hurt somebody's feelings. Because you must remember, the people on the outside that might give you that energy that does not align with you, it doesn't mean they're bad. It means they've been conditioned to do such things in their life from their circumstances, from their difficulties, from their pains. So you need to acknowledge that and not give them the fuel for the fire. So you need to positively affirm to yourself, how will you deal with all of this during the course of a day, during your life, during your week, during 2 weeks, during 3 weeks? So positive affirmations, you can even write it down. You can create a journal for yourself. Write it down. Put it onto the fridge. Stick it up there. Keep writing, because that is what will help you eventually in many ways. Nature connection, very important. Raji put up a lovely collage there. Nature is divinity. So somebody said, you know, if we were in India, you'd hear the sounds of the temple. Yes, the few times that I've been to India, it's holier. It's holier than any other place you go to. There's a kind of heart there. And you know it's from history, from thousands and thousands of millions of years, that there's something very authentic in India, but you're not going to find it everywhere. So the nature connection is exactly the temple. It's the mosque, it's a synagogue, it's the church, it's all of it. It's what the divinity gives you. Gives you for free. We don't have to pay for that. We don't even have to ask. We don't have to challenge. It is there consistently for us. That is why you've got to use it. So technology-free morning, I can't say mine was technology-free this morning. However, I got a lot of good feeling to be with you this morning, and visualize it. Visualize. So in your head, you have lots of pictures. I have lots of pictures in my head. Whatever you say to yourself mindfully, visualize it. Create that picture for yourself, because it does work. So I think we're on what, step 10, mindful shower or bath. And we do that in the morning. And there are a couple of times in the mornings when I get up, or maybe my afternoon shower. It's cold. It's a cold shower. It helps me to go, and I feel the feeling of, I'm not as good as many people because they can stand in it for hours. I'm still getting there. But it does wake you up. It just changed the pictures in your head. So just try it, ladies. It's not the kindest, but it does get better. Strangely enough, when I lived in Ireland, I used to swim in the cold sea. It was freezing cold, and you'd swim. But now when you, like, I'm in South Africa and it's 30 degrees, I'm like, oh, it's cold. But it does change the way you see things. Set your intentions. Exactly. Whatever you think, so shall you become. So you need to set those intentions for yourself, not 1,000. Do. Set your intentions for the day. Today, I'm going to have a kind day. Today, I'm going to be grateful for what I've had, what I have, and what will continue to be good for me. And do a mindful check. And I sent to Raji a takeaway for you where you can do a mindful check. That's a wonderful way to do a mindful check. There it is here. So go through that. Just look at it. It's not homework. It's just for your well-being. Now, mindfulness is basically there. It's available all the time for everybody, whether you had become a trained mindfulness coach, whether you practice it daily, doesn't matter. You can start anywhere, absolutely anywhere. Today, this afternoon, when you're having your meal with your family, or you're taking a walk, or you even having your shower, choose set an intention for you for tomorrow. Say, tomorrow I'm going to go out in the sunshine and I'm going to sit there for 10 minutes. I'm going to feel the rays of the sun, the importance of the sun. We know we all give thanks to the sun because without the sun we have no life. So just like that, sit in the sun for 10 minutes, even 5. Make it a point of appreciating what is already there for you. I've heard in many times people say, "What a beautiful place! I love to rejuvenate. That is why I go on holiday over there, or I go on holiday over there, or I need to go there." You need to go nowhere. You just need to be able to sit in your own space. If there's pain, sit in it. If there's happiness, sit in it. If there's fear, sit in it. If there's confusion, sit in it. If there's love, sit in it. Whatever those emotions are, sit in it. Go out into the sunshine, explore, feel, go. I think lots of you go without shoes because you want to feel the earth under your feet. It means you're connecting with the universe. The greatest, the most important medicine, the best cures in the world is nature. Now, ladies, just to say, mindfulness is great. We can practice it wherever we are with the minimal requirements of what we need because everything comes from within us. However, consistency is the key. So I'll just read this bit for you that I put down. Consistency is key to a successful mindfulness routine. Start with a practice that feels manageable and gradually increase its duration or complexity as you become more comfortable with it. A mindful morning routine can enhance your overall well being and help you approach the day with greater clarity and presence. So, start today, and you've started, all of you've started. Whether you're in the kitchen, you're cooking, you cook mindfully. We don't throw the stuff in, we don't knock the pots over. Play some music, play some high frequency music that can calm things down. You got children running at home, people screaming, the television is on, that is happening. But you can change that for you. And I think for me to impart this with you finally is that for me, for a woman, for a child that I used to be, for a mother that I am, for a grandmother that I am, for being out in the world, like Raji said, we can be a mother of different form. You just don't really need your biological or your birth mother. It's the person you connect with. So for me, the connection for the world has changed. The connection as a mother changed. The connection as a mentor changed once I've started mindfulness and the connection with mindfulness. So here I am, a living specimen of where I was, where I am now, and where I will continue to be in the future. Because the way life is for me right now, I wouldn't change it for anything.